Show everyone that gets in your car that you care what happens to them. Make sure that everyone has a seatbelt on before you drive. You're viewing AFTV channels 2 and 6, Iraklion Air Station, Crete.
Welcome to our Iraklion Magazine Splash Day special. Special because you turned a day of sunshine into a day of celebration. And special because we introduce you to another of our staff at AFRTS, Jim Santos.
Thanks, Dad. Splash Day excitement is only part of tonight's show. We'll also take a look at fun that lasts all summer long.
Fun in the water at the base marina and fun by the water in the village of Chersonnisos.
All this and more tonight on the Iraklion Magazine Splash Day special. Stay with us.
If you don't like what's on TV, the Stars and Stripes bookstore offers reading material for every interest. They have a large selection of newspapers, books, and magazines, and new titles are arriving all the time. That's the Stars and Stripes, another great service for you.
Iraklion Magazine Splash Day Special!
Splash Day was a busy day for all of us at AFRTS because you kept us and our camera hopping.
You ate, drank, danced, and tested your skills in a variety of ways. We'll take a look at all of that tonight. But first, Steve Hull gives us a little Splash Day history.
By 1981, Splash Day already had a 2-year history of bad weather, and that year was no different. So all the beach lovers could do was hope for better in 1982. Well, Splash Day 82 was even worse. A light rain fell the entire day, and a steady north wind saw more long sleeves out there than bikinis. But we made the best of it. The food booths did real well, boxing matches drew a good crowd, and it can be safely said that no one suffered much from sunburn that night. 1983 saw the first decent Splash Day weather in 4 years, and we celebrated enough to make up for all the other times. As a matter of fact, the only disaster that day befell the AFRTS team in the paddleboat races, who met defeat when their vessel headed for Davy Jones' locker instead of the finish line. But all of this was just a dress rehearsal, practice if you will, for Splash Day 84. But we'll let you tell it.
Yeah, I think it's great. The people, the food, the activities, everything is just fantastic.
Everybody seems to be having a good time, and, you know, that's what counts. The food's all right, the beach is all right, the water's great, the women are great. I've been here 3 years, going on 4. After today, I think I might make it 5.
That's Splash Day 1984, and Russ Casey was on the scene for the opening ceremony.
It's a beautiful morning.
Splash Day 1984 officially kicked off at Iraklion Air Station, Crete at 10 a.m. Saturday, May 19th. Colonel William Spacey, base commander, released a multicolored blast of balloons as the starting gun for the day's activity. As the balloons charged into the sunny skies, courtesy of Mother Nature, Colonel Spacey unleashed a mighty heave and $10 worth of quarters hit the turf. Jacques Cousteaus of all ages combed the waters in search of the sunken treasure. The keg is tapped. Splash Day 1984 had begun.
In heaven there is no view.
Now that Splash Day had officially opened, it was time for fun and food, and on this day there was overindulging of both. To keep your stomach happy and ready to go, there were such delicacies as spare ribs, souvlaki, corn dogs, and peanuts, and that just took care of the protein side. The Masons supplied corn on the cob, 2115th was there with donuts, and last but certainly not least, the Aegean was there with the sustenance. With your stomach ready to go, the only thing left was fun, and there was plenty of that also. With the sustenance along, of course, there was the egg toss showing bravery and skill. After this, your arm got more exercise, the ring toss, the dart toss, and the softball toss. There were also some very original ideas for fun on Splash Day. The Cub Scouts came up with a real winner.
What was your favorite event or activity?
Favorite event, I think the Boy Scouts did the best of all with the rope walk. I think it's fantastic.
And ESC's Dog Flight took advantage of the sneakier side of humanity by letting you put anyone in jail you wanted to.
What are you doing in this jail?
I was arrested for obviously no reason.
You mean it was a bum rap?
It was a bum rap, that's why I was set up.
Where's your lawyer?
I skipped town with my money.
How much longer you got to stay in here?
About 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Why don't you just break out?
Because she's got a big club.
But in my personal opinion, the hospital wins an award for uniqueness. They gave out free sex and hormone operations with the flash of a camera. Once you received your ideal appearance, it was time for the beach, sun, and water. Now it's time to hear about another happening on Splash Day, the Horseshoe Tournament, but this time you get the real insider's point of view. I'm Joanne Noyes for Splash Day's Iraklion Magazine.
Up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a high-flung, far-fanute, long-fetching horseshoe, and it's aimed at me, the stake. The game, a predatory, ritualistic, arm-swinging, finger-snapping, body-leaning, loose-gripping strategy. The goal, to strike again and again with ruthless intent, a defenseless post. First, I'm taken hostage by Junko members, vicious John Vaught, Dirty Doug Lyles, and the carnivorous Kaz, and forced into the horseshoe pit. Then, 40 men take aim with horseshoes too big for even a Clydesdale. When the sawdust clears, 6 men stand victorious. Dick Crothers was our worst enemy with the highest score, followed by Jerry the Brute Blaylock, who also won in the doubles category with his partner, Lou Awesome Arm Alvarado. Coming in second, that terrible twosome, Jake Hines and George Danforth. But the game doesn't end with Splash Day. The Rod and Gun Club has a few of us survivors pinned up out back, and we continue to be stalked. You see, for some of us, horseshoes aren't good luck. But it was a stroke of good luck that brought live entertainment further down the beach. Steve Hull has that story.
The appearance of the U-Safe Galaxy Band was another one of those happy coincidences that combined to make Splash Day 84 extra special. The 7-member jazz rock group was due into Iraklion anyway, and some last-minute negotiations by public affairs secured a concert on the beach that got everybody moving. So much for the theory that all military bands can play our military marches. These guys are pros. And on that sunny day in May, they added the Iraklion crowd at Splash Day to their list of satisfied customers around the world. But they weren't the only entertainers on the beach that day, as Jim Santos found out.
Among the Splash Day activities was a dazzling display of talent by the kids. Scarf set the Spanish mood of the old people's dance. Then it was over to the Philippines for the bamboo dance. After seeing how easy it was, the spectators just couldn't wait to get their feet in. All in all, a lot of fun watching and participating in the dances. Thanks, kids.
While the egg toss was going on, the crowd gathered at the patio to see who would win the Mr. and Mrs. Iraklion contest. The judges were looking for talented people with attractive beachwear, and the contestants seemed to have all the right qualifications in all the right places. Mike Randall gave it his best shot, trying his hand at comedy and dressing down in his made-to-kill outfit. In the women's competition, the big attraction was all the dancing going on. Mary Johnson, Lynn Weber, and Stacy Mannon gave it all they had, and then some, and the crowd loved it. After the competition, the judges took a break to add up all the points, while the contestants decided to relieve some of that splash day energy. The big moment finally arrived, and the winners for 1984 were Thaddeus Hosley, who won for his muscular posing routine, and Stacy Mannon, who showed the crowd how to have a good time. And for Thaddeus, winning was great.
Of course, winning Mr. Iraklion. That was the best part. Yes, I did.
In just a minute, Steve Hull takes a look at a summertime paradise. There's more in store, so stay tuned.
Every year, hundreds of children are literally scared to death in fires. They die because they fear a monster that comes towards them through the flame and smoke. Ironically, this monster is the one person that can help them.
If you see me, I'm your friend. I'm a firefighter just here to help you.
Don't let your child fear the friendly monster. Teach them how to help themselves and recognize help in case of a fire. Don't let the friendly monster scare your child to death.
Iraklion Magazine Splash Day Special!
Jim, I just thought of something I don't like about Splash Day.
What's that?
It ended.
Cheer up, Deb. In tonight's Great Island segment, Steve Hull takes a look at a place where the fun lasts all summer long.
Over the past years on Iraklion Magazine, we've come to see that Crete has a lot to offer. And yet, if all they had was Chersonnisos, I still think it'd be worth the trip. And I'm not the only one. Every year, tourists from all across Europe make the trip south to spend their holidays here, in what most of us call the Ville. From early May all the way to the end of October, a trip through Chersonnisos takes on the feel of a whirlwind tour of Europe, as you mingle with friendly people from under every flag of the common market. You may ask yourself, what brings these folks to Chersonnisos? Well, there's lots of reasons. Let's take a look at some. As warm as it gets on the beach, Chersonnisos really heats up at night. That same international crowd you had lunch with is now on the street and looking for action. And if you can't find action in the Ville, you won't find it anywhere.
Communication always leaves me incomplete. The grass is greener, but it's grown beneath my feet. Love inspiration is a message on a way, but I have left it in the words you'll never see. Communication let me down, and I'm left here. Communication let me down, and I'm left here. I'm left here again.
And speaking of action, Jim Santos has some seagoing action at the base marina.
If you've spent any time at the base beach, chances are you've seen a cove filled with boats just to the left. Folks, that's the base marina. Open Wednesdays through Mondays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., the marina might have just what you need to enjoy the water. Big boats and small boats, boats with engines and boats with pedals. If it floats in water, you'll probably find it here. Power boats. They're great for skiing or just cruising through the water. The two types available are the whalers, which rent for $2.50 an hour, and the more popular Glastrons, which cost a little more and are a bit harder to get a hold of. Your best bet is to reserve these boats about a week in advance. But before you consider taking any of the power boats out, you'll need to get a boat license. But don't worry, it's not that difficult. According to Jim Pristovic, the marina director, all it takes is $2 and a little common sense. I was skeptical, so Jim invited me and the camera out for a demonstration. First came the life preserver, which had me a little edgy, but no problem. The boat with Jim behind the wheel gently made its way into the broad waters of the Med. No problem so far. As we picked up speed for an unknown destination, Jim explained the requirements to student Mick Walsh. Then the boat came to an abrupt halt, and I knew it was time for the student's hands at the helm. First, Jim had Mick explain the controls to him. Then it was a gentle push on the throttle, and we were off. Mick had to do a quick figure 8, then steer the boat straight ahead. A light tap on the arm from Jim meant that he had to come to a complete stop. In that quick few minutes, Mick had demonstrated that he could handle a powerboat. And after we got back to the dock and secured the boat, Mick was given his license as a certified boater. That's all there was to it. Now that you know how easy it is, you're probably ready for your lesson. And if, however unlikely, you don't pass the certification, it doesn't mean you'll be a landlubber the rest of your life. The marina has another boat that doesn't require any special license. It's great on gas and it doesn't cost as much to rent. For $1 an hour, you could be the captain on a pedal boat. What better exercise for the old thighs? And if pedaling around the island isn't your bag, the marina has sailboats, catamarans, and windsurfers. If you don't know how to sail, just leave your name with Jim, and the next customer that comes in with knowledge and experience may be your future teacher. Now you know that little cove next to the base beach is the marina, and it's here just for you. So explore the crystal waters of the Mediterranean. Rent a boat from the base marina.
Hey, Jim, we're not going anywhere.
You know, I knew I should have gave that guy the $1. Well, looks like we're not going anywhere, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Why are you sitting there looking so down? Something wrong?
Nah, just the blahs. No energy. Tired. You know.
Maybe some exercise would help.
You kidding? I just said I feel listless.
I know, but exercise can help you with that.
Oh, yeah?
That's right. Exercise is a great way to get a physical and an emotional lift. A program of regular exercise can give you more energy and increase your resistance to fatigue. You'll feel better and be more alert. When you're ready for bed, you'll fall asleep quicker and sleep better.
Well, I guess I couldn't ask for any more than that.
But regular exercise does give you more. Combined with a balanced diet of the right foods, it's a good way to lose unwanted pounds and tone up your body.
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe I should give it a try. Hey, listen. Thanks.
Feel good about yourself. Stay in shape.
The beach is a great place for a workout. You can run in the sand or swim in the sea, but you don't have to limit your activities to the beach, as Gino Plyler shows us in this month's Sports Wrap-Up.
The last month had everything for the sports fans here at Iraklion. Exciting plays on the softball diamond, fast-paced action on the racquetball courts, and a chance to see the kids take the ride of their life on the BMX championship course. We'll get back to the racquetball courts and the kids after a recap of all the softball action that took place during the past month. It all began with the 1984 Iraklion Invitational Tournament as 7 teams got ready for a very competitive weekend of action. This year's lineup included Suda Bay, Supply, Days LGM, Group SPS, the Men of Com, the Iraklion base team, and the base team from Hellenikon. The first game at 10 o'clock saw Supply jump out to a quick 9-0 lead against Days LGM. But that was all Supply would score in the first game as Days came charging back to win by 4, 13-9. In the second game, Iraklion went up against a stubborn Group SPS team in a game that featured some great offense and some major league hustle on the base paths. The final score had the base team winning 15-9. Game 3 on Saturday was one-sided as Athens brought out the big bats and clobbered Com by 25 big runs, 28-3. Days LGM met Suda Bay next, and the men of Days LGM wrapped it up early, winning 27-13. The big game on Saturday matched Athens against Iraklion, and it was everything the fans had expected. Iraklion's power against the big lumber from Hellenikon, and this time Iraklion got the upper hand, 19-14. The last 2 games on Saturday were also the last for Com and Supply in the double elimination tournament. The men of Group SPS held on to eliminate Com 11-10, and Athens took off on Supply, and the visitors won 14-3. With 5 teams left on Sunday, the fans turned out early to see who would stay and who would be joining them in the stands. Suda Bay made a quick exit, losing to Group SPS 33-3. Group was led by the steady play of Rick Hargrave and Dana Tartaglione. Iraklion was on deck, and they slammed the door on Days LGM, winning easily 23-1. Group SPS then bowed out to a hard-hitting Athens team. Final score 26-4. And the winners got ready to play a fired-up Days LGM team in the next game. Well, Hellenikon got more than they bargained for, barely beating Days 14-12. After 11 games and 7 teams, it came down to the 2 base squads, Athens and Iraklion, for the championship. Crete jumped out to a quick lead and then held off a late rally by Athens to win by 7 runs, 14-7, and take their own invitational tournament. After that was all over, it was time for the pre-season softball tournament to let the teams get some practice for the long and demanding regular season. The games got underway on a Monday afternoon, and after 4 days of intense competition, the championship pairings had been set for what you might say would be a dog day afternoon. In the men's title game, it was Dog taking on a tough Group SPS team. And for the women, Able met the challenge of, who else? Dog. The men took the field at 5:30, and from the start, Group SPS seemed to be having a better day at the plate and also in the field. Dog was trying hard, but it was the game that belonged to the men of Group SPS as they wrapped up the preseason tournament and appear to be a strong favorite for the regular season title. At 6:30, it was time for the ladies, and this game started out all Able and finished Able. The Big A took a 7-0 lead and never let up. The girls were simply too much at the plate, putting the game out of Dog's reach early. And the last play of the ball game typified the kind of defense Able played all day long. Jody Smith lets the ball go on the mound. Cindy Sobolewski makes the barehanded stop at third. And to top it all off, Marianne Pippi Westerman snares a wide throw at first to give Able the championship. And, of course, that bubbly champagne.
Well, I'm ready to play, I'm as ready as I'll ever be, and I'm looking forward to the match. Dennis is a tough competitor, and he hangs in there, and I got to do my best today to beat him.
I'm definitely ready to play Gordy Miller. I've played him twice before, I believe, prior to the MSC last year, which time I beat him one time. It's the only time I've beat him here at Iraklion. He's a very good player, very strong backhand. I doubt that he has any strong weaknesses. I'm very much looking forward to this match.
After those comments, Gordy Miller took on Dennis Schneider for the men's base racquetball championship, and as expected, the first game was very close. Gordy took the lead, Dennis came back to tie it up, and the standing room only crowd got ready for one of those classic finishes. After what seemed like hours, Gordy had the first game 21-20. The second game was all Gordy Miller as he wrapped up the championship with ease, winning 21-0. The track, the machines, and the competitors. That was the scene at the 1984 BMX Championship race held behind the Youth Center. This year there were 4 classes, 7-8, 9-10, 11-12, and 13-14. The object of the race was to get down that ramp and around the course as quickly as your feet could pedal. And although it was by no means an easy job, these kids were raring to go and had what it took to get the job done. After all the racing, the winners had been selected. In Class 1, Kyle Jackson took home first prize with a time of 36:53. Carl Henderson was second at 38:59, and Andre Fast Feet Soto was third, posting a time of 39:36. In Class 2, it was Stephen Burton at 36:28 in first place. Second place was claimed by his brother Michael at 38:51, and Chris Balzadua came in third at 38:63. In Class 3, the winners were James Austin, 37:15, Angelo Andrea, 41:55, and Robbie White, 43:86. And finally, Class 4, where the times really got low, was won by Vince Conrad with a top time of 34:30 and Ed Jackson at 36:58. Congratulations to all the winners, and special thanks go out to Tom Allen for all his hard work. And Tom would like to thank his wife, Brenda, for her loving support. And I would like to thank all the athletes of Iraklion for another exciting month of sports.
This month's Touch and Go hits on 3 military retreat ceremonies with special significance, and we take a look at the new Travel Bureau in the Recreation Center. The new leader of the 6931st Electronic Security Command was welcomed to Iraklion Air Station with the lowering of the colors and a few sharp moves from the members of his new command. Lieutenant Colonel Douglas H. Williams handed his command to newcomer Lieutenant Colonel Richard T. Osborne with the help of the commander of Electronic Security Europe, Colonel Gary O'Shaughnessy.
The flag of this unit has been passed many times since 1954 when the 6931st was first established as a small detachment here at Crete. During those past 30 years, the unit has grown in size and has grown in complexity. It has garnered many awards, and it has received the high praise and recognition of all who have either visited or inspected the unit.
Colonel Williams will make his way to Kelly Air Force Base, but before he departed, he wanted his troops to know what Iraklion meant to him.
Obviously, this is a difficult time for Ann and for me and my family. It's rare that a group of people or a particular place can come to mean so much in such a relatively short period of time. But that's what's happened here at Iraklion and at 6931st. You made it happen. We thank you for it.
Iraklion received a special visitor this month, and Tech Sergeant David Roy was especially glad to see him. 16th Commander Major General Robert W. Clements re-enlisted Sergeant Roy with a special retreat ceremony. Sergeant Roy, the 16th Air Force's NCO of the year, received another surprise, a step promotion to Master Sergeant. And in his own humble way, he gave credit where credit is due.
All she had to put up with, she worked a lot harder than I did for it.
If you're planning on a summer vacation but are having problems on deciding where to go, the CV Recreation Center has a new service that could be of some help to you.
If you ever happen to listen to 1584 radio, you've probably heard this woman's name quite often. Maria Jackson is the name behind the new Recreation Travel Bureau called ITT. The issued ticket and tour office can help you to get to almost anywhere in the world, and Maria Jackson can arrange your summer vacation with no hassles and in a hurry. In July alone, she scheduled tours for Santorini, Athens, and Austria. There was also one for Egypt, but the ship won't be coming into Iraklion Harbor anymore. But that doesn't stop Maria. She's working on another way of visiting the land of the pharaohs. So if you need to plan a vacation, Maria Jackson is the lady to see. All you have to do is call her at 3918.
And that wraps up the Iraklion Magazine Splash Day special, except Deb and I were wondering what we liked most about Splash Day.
How about it? What did you like best about Splash Day?
Everything.
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 Everything. I guess that says it all.
And that says it all for tonight's show. As always, thanks for watching us watch you on the picture pages of Iraklion Magazine. Good night.